welcome once again to Real Estate Reality with your hosts, Darren and Joe, over at Urban Hillsides Real Estate. Thanks for joining us today, and thanks for joining us later, perhaps. This is recorded, and you can check it out at your leisure. Wow, man, 2022, it's gone. It's almost gone.
No, shit. I would like to say COVID's behind us, but man, it just keeps popping its head up, man.
Yeah, I did see a graph, combined with the other two things, RSV and flu. I finally got over the flu. That was holding on to me for a while, so hopefully you see a little better energy today from me. But yeah, man, take your shots, take your vaccines, wear your masks. I'm back to wearing my mask when I jump into a crowd now.
Wow.
I don't know if you're there yet, but...
I was at a basketball game last night, and I thought about it, but I think I saw one person in the entire arena with a mask. But,
right.
Yeah, I understand, man. I get it.
Yeah.
We all have to do what we have to do.
Yeah. Well, look, guys, we're going to do the usual today. It is the final show of 2022, so we have our observations and maybe a couple more about what we saw over 2022 in real estate. And to be even more particular, in our Northeast Los Angeles area and Los Angeles as well. What that means is we'll go through the rates, see what's happened this week. We're going to go through our seller wins and buyer wins. And Darren's going to pick out some actives that he thinks are interesting, let's say. Certainly everything has slowed down a bit, right, Darren, because of the holidays.
Absolutely.
So the numbers, it's holiday numbers. You can't believe in them completely. But we'll go through it all. And, we'll go through our top 7 observations on real estate in 2022. Okay, so let's move on. We are going to go to our rates, and that's Mortgage News Daily. Let me get over there. Let's see.
Yeah, and as you open this up, I must say, we may get back to a point where we're doing this like every other show or once a month, because
we started, I don't mind that.
Because when we started evaluating this, it was super volatile.
Yeah.
It was shifting. It was having big impacts on the market.
Yep.
And I think it's kind of settled into a valley right now.
Yeah.
And as long as it stays there, it doesn't need to be front and center every week. So.
Well, I agree. So, our first slide here is 30-year fixed mortgage rates with a nice graph. And, we've had a good run, right, over the last 5 weeks. A little jump up in this week. What is it now? It's, let's see.
Well, there's
Mortgage News Daily, 6.3.
Right.
But, again, as we look here over the last couple days, we've had some good runs.
Yeah. Well, we had a rise. So in between last week and this week, they went down and then they came back up. So the upside looks like more. But right there, it looks like in that 30-year, they went up every day.
Right.
In smaller increments.
Right. But as you said, I think you're right. We all have to be careful of kind of making this more of a story than it should be. Like you said, I think we've all kind of settled into the reality of what this is. And,
I mean, look, if you could get 3s, of course you want them. But if 6 is where it's going to land and it's going to stay, you just have to respond to it.
Well, here, you just reminded me about something I wanted to talk to you about. But so anyway, you can see here, 30-year fixed, 6.32, as high as 7.37, as low as 3.24 last year. 15-year fixed, 5.57, 30-year jumbo, 5.51. So we are getting into those 5s, which is a nice sign. 5.1 is 5.99, 30-year FHA. I was telling you about my sister-in-law at 5.9. There it is, 5.85. And then 30-year VA, 5.9. So, overall, I think some good news for the end of the year going into 23. Yeah. Okay, and this is what I wanted to just quickly... It's like you guys are in our meeting. I'm sorry. Not that we do a lot of business with Republic Bank, but Darren, I saw something, and it's popped up a couple more times recently, of some sort of program Here, let me see if I can bring this over.
Do you mean First Republic? Yeah, First Republic.
I'm sorry, First Republic.
Yep.
Where, depending upon where a listing is, they have special rates discounted. So here we are, 30-year fixed rate, loans up to $1 million at 3.79%. Does say rate is subject to change. But I have seen this program in a couple more listings lately. So, maybe we should take a look at this. 15-year fixed, 3.51. I'm sure you've got to do some business with them, right?
That's what happened with me. So I am now a First Republic client. When I refinance my 5-unit building, they want your portfolio. They want multiple layers. At minimum, you have to open an account, which, some banks push for that.
Right.
But I got a fantastic rate on my commercial loan earlier this year. Was very happy with it. So,
and how was the process? Because I know you're not a big fan of commercial loans and that process.
For a commercial loan, it just drug on and on and on. It was like 60 days plus. It was more like 75 days. They kept saying they had so many refinances going on that they kept pushing mine to the back to complete the refis. They had so many purchase money loans going on. They kept pushing the refis back. But I will say, whatever, they locked in the rate, and over that entire period when rates went up, I kept freaking out and going, hey, what are we doing? They're like, don't worry, your rate is locked, and they kept it there the whole time, and I got my rate and it closed. So the overall process was the best commercial loan process I'd been through.
Okay. That was what
other than just the delay in completing it, but person was always available, and it's a great institution.
Well, great.
Yeah.
So this is called Eagle Community Loan Program. Again, there's some fine print here I'm not going to go over, but it does say attractive terms for buying or refinancing a primary residence in our designated areas include closing costs, credit of $4,000 provided, no prepayment penalties, personalized service, as you said, and quick responses for the life of the loan. So, we're going to have to study this a bit, but.
It might be. You said geography located. It might also be a first time. Well, it's a refinance, so it's not first time only. Income qualification maybe. I don't know. Sure, fine print's important in these things.
Yeah. Well, we'll take a look at it, but I'll send this off to you. All right. Well, let's move on to liking. Subscribing, following us, guys. I don't push this enough, and we don't push this enough, but we need your help for others to see it. And if you could do that, we'd appreciate that, truly. Our numbers have gone up, Darren, as I've mentioned, but certainly we're not PewDiePie or any of these others that are amazingly rich in followers. Let's move on now to, let's go to seller wins and buyer wins.
Oh, do we want to jump into the seven topics 2022 review? Or?
Yeah. Okay. Let's go there. So, guys, I'm just going to put up the 7 observations on real estate 2022. I did not make hold on here. Did not make a slide for this. So let me just grab it here. Let's see. I don't know if you came up with some others, Darren, but, certainly chime in. I know we're going to riff on this. There's no article to really discuss. But number 1 is be patient. Some deals take time. Example, Arbolada. That was one of our deals right now that's pending. And say Las Flores. So what would you say to that?
Well, gosh, even, we have one going on right now with a buy side with a client on and gosh, man, I mean, when you said that, I was like, breathe, Jared, breathe.
Yeah.
Because I don't always have patience, man. I'm used to these things moving fast and quick.
You're like this,
Yeah. So it's true. I remember I'll say this. I remember having a conversation once, even in a busier market, with someone, and the person just came across as so patient and
Yeah.
so much not in a hurry that the other side of the transaction was this is a negotiating tactic. It's driving me crazy. Fine, I'll give you what you want.
Right.
And that
Right.
happened on multiple occasions. We kept,
Right.
and later we had an opportunity to speak with this person. I'm like, man, was this intentional on your part as
Right.
a negotiating strategy? He's like, no, I was just really uncomfortable. I was not prepared to make quick decisions at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
But man, it worked in his favor. So one of the biggest issues we end up with when we deal with clients is trying to push them. Hey, they did a decision by tomorrow. Hey, digest this 150 page of inspection reports.
Yeah.
And, tell me tomorrow what you want to do. There's always a
Well,
rush, man.
you know what? I didn't put it on here, but I've already come up with 8 because I just told this to a family member of mine looking to buy, and I just said, have faith in the process. I think she freaked out a little bit when you're talking about speed and patience. No, I said, you just, you're not the first one doing this. I know it feels like you are, but yeah, have faith that there's a process and time to digest all this.
Right. And that's hard for a lot of people, having faith. And it comes down to trust in the process and trust in others who are advising you. We talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
Man, hopefully you have an agent, and you should take the time to build trust and make sure you have trust in that relationship. For us, we talk about penny wise, pound foolish. The people that come to us that are like, well, man, I want you to do all these extra things for me. And I'm like, wait a second, you haven't done anything. This is a mutually beneficial relationship here. Let's build some trust and make sure we both do a good job to get what clients want. So great, be patient. I agree. It's good,
All right.
good advice.
So number 2, I thought of it in the reverse: be nimble, be adaptable. At the same time, move quickly when needed. Identify and adapt. And my example was almost all deals this year felt like that, right?
Right. And the people who, man, I'm doing this for a long time. The people who can't adapt, many times, one of two things happen. Number one, it creates a lot of anxiety for them because it's a serious commitment and process.
Sure.
But some of them just can't even buy real estate, man. They can't get from start to finish.
Right.
Because they talk about it being stressful. Well, the stress is that they need every piece of information, or if one thing goes wrong, they have discomfort in the process and things will go wrong. But with that said, look, we had a recent process we went through with some clients where they couldn't adapt. And then they pulled out of escrow. Then we got into another escrow, and they're like, they adapted a little more, but there was one more thing.
Yeah.
And by the time we got them into a third escrow, they were more adaptable.
Yeah.
And, it was the way they had to process, and at least they were open and communicated about it. Which made it all work in the end. They found a property, and ironically, each time it got better.
It did.
And I think they're happy with where they're going now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, number 3, trust and transparency. And I wrote here, share info with clients quickly, establish a relationship built on trust and good communication.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I say to people, I remember, particularly because in areas that we work now, a lot of these areas were very transitional for a long time. And there's still varying degrees of quality and safety and other elements related to a lot of the areas we serve.
Right.
I remember often just saying to people, they would kind of feel uncomfortable to say, I don't feel safe in this neighborhood. Well, look, man, I'm not here to judge you. You're here to buy the house you want.
Right.
So just say it doesn't work. You could say
Yep.
why. If you say
Yep.
why, that allows us to
Helps us all.
understand you better.
Yeah.
And deliver what you're seeking as a buyer, for sure.
Right.
You know, as a seller, sellers have a lot of fears, man. A lot
Yeah.
of, sometimes it's much harder for sellers to be trusting and honest than it can be for buyers. They just kind of have to be. They don't understand the process. Sellers sometimes are like hiding things and maneuvering.
Yeah.
So, again, very good piece of advice to have a successful transaction.
And
It's
I
important.
think, the emphasis you're putting on this, I think I just started out coming from our side, but yeah, it's really a two-way street on that one, between clients and agents. Yeah.
For sure.
Make sure it's both ways. Okay, number 4, good agents collaborate and support each other. This is a market that requires cooperation from both sides now.
Right. True. And it's a changing market. So, and what I mean by that, the thought that comes to mind is that it was a one-way street. It was a seller's market.
Yeah.
Seller's
Yeah.
agent had control, seller had control. Now it's a little more neutral.
Yeah.
Who knows who has control? Depends on how the market responds.
Right.
So I remember one of the certifications I have on negotiating, and we've talked about this before. You come into a situation, and I think from a negotiation perspective, you're like, "Oh, I want a hard ass. I'm gonna ram this down their throat, get what
Right.
I need." Right?
Right.
That does not work, man. And this course, that was the enlightening thing. Like, I don't know, 15 years ago, it was like, no, it's a collaboration. It really is.
Right.
It's building trust through the process with the other agent, and often it is an agent-to-agent dynamic. And the buyers and sellers are in the background as
Right.
you communicate with them. So.
Right. Wow. All right. So number 5, and I guess this might be more for us, but for the others as well on who are renting. Today's renters are tomorrow's future buyers. Tenants pay a lot of rent, and some will buy in the future.
Yeah. It's
I mean, we've
true.
talked about this, with the last couple leases that we've handled.
Sure.
And the amounts of those leases are hefty.
They are hefty. And if you're getting into a lease of that size, if we just think about the history there, sometimes it's transitional, right? People who pay those kinds of leases are not 100% committed to a location more
Right.
often than not. Or they're new to the location and they want to make sure it's going to work. I mean, we give clients that advice. Move somewhere and rent.
Yeah.
Rent first. Make sure it's going to work. Make sure the move's going to work. You know, I know it's a lot of money, but imagine how much money it is if you buy and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Selling is a lot more. So it's true. And, I hope the renters that we dialogue with, we develop that flow of communication so we can continue that relationship.
Yep. Okay, and we're getting close to the end. We are looking at number 6. Hope for buyers. It's still not a balanced market, but for those with the fortitude, there is less competition and opportunity.
Right? I mean, right now, you're just going to get fewer and fewer listings.
Yeah.
Most of the articles in real estate are talking about how real estate is tanking. And what's tanking is the volume.
Yeah.
I don't know who benefits from, lower volume typically benefits sellers, not
Right.
buyers. Ironically, when they talk about it tanking, it's balanced. There are some more opportunities for sure that did not exist 3 to 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So I expect it to stay a balanced market into next year. So you're right. Collaboration, trust, and being ready to move when something becomes available. Adaptability, all those things, man. It's a good list you put together, Joe.
All right, so our final one, number 7, with the drum roll, is hope for sellers. Sellers with well-prepared and presented homes with smart agents can still get their price in this market. You talked about the inventory lull,
Right.
but we can't be lazy about it either, right?
Yeah. And that's absolutely the case. And you see as we review these listings and closings.
Oops. I can't hear you.
Maybe that's on your end, Joe.
Wife, can you hear Darren? Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, there you are. Sorry.
Okay, cool. So, what were you saying? You distracted me for a moment, Joe.
About sellers and their opportunity
Oh, right.
this year and last year. Well prepared, presented.
So in a more
agents.
balanced market, you have to prep. You have to, do everything you need to put your best foot forward.
Right.
Clearly the case. But even in that scenario, I think one of the tougher sales, I can tell you, which is one of our longest listings we've had
Right.
in a very long time, have been units.
Yeah.
And I don't have 100% pulse on why.
Right.
Even vacant units, I understand why with occupied units, maybe low rents, that all makes sense.
Right.
I think that just a lot of people are pretty scared of the housing oversight and the moratoriums and the restrictions and inflation. And I think at least investors have pulled out in many ways from the multi-unit environment. And for me, I think if that ends up being more owner-occupant on multi-units, I say good. Because it is a way to get in and have ownership and create some financial stability.
Yeah.
But that was the tough pocket this year that never fully recovered, even with good prep.
That's a good point. Right.
We'll see what happens next year with that market.
Yep. Well, later on in seller wins or buyer wins rather, I'm going to show you one place that house, 2 units in the back, just looked great, and they got a price break. So we'll check that out.
Cool.
Okay, well, look, so those are your top 7 observations from Darren and Joe on what they saw in 2022, and I think this very much covers and carries over into 2023. Rules to live by, golden rules to live by in real estate, for sure. All right, so that's that. Let me move on now to our seller wins. Let me open it up for us here. Okay. Nope, not that. Let's go here. Okay, so, there were only 9 solds over the last 7 days. So,
really
again, right, a little bit of an anomaly here, of course, with the holidays coming up on us. But let me get over there. So, seller wins. There it is. Okay. I'm not even going to go over what this market is because it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Nope.
Yeah. Let's start, though, at 6091 Meridian Street and take a look at a seller win. List price was $1,195,000. Landed at $1,400,000. Ooh, what is that? For a $205,000 increase over its list price. That's 117% of list price. And it took 18 days on the market. The consistent number, Darren, I did see, seems to still be 13 days on market for all these,
Okay.
no matter what. It hasn't changed for weeks. Let's take a look here. Okay. Going back to those 7 or 8 that we talked about, because of the way the market is, maybe I should have added this, but perception, as we know, is everything. And how does that seller feel about it? How does that buyer feel about it? That might tip the scale towards what you need, whether you're on, if you're on the other side or not. It's a time of uncertainty, and you mix that in with life stages and all that other stuff. And there might be a way to get a little better deal than you think. So.
Yeah, we talk about that. In a balanced market,
Yeah.
it is the alignment of a seller and buyer perception.
Yeah.
And if the right buyer's there when a seller thinks negatively about a market, they might get a deal.
Yeah.
Or if a very positive buyer is there, and that's the direction the seller's going in, it just becomes a good match. So it's just there will be more. There will continue to be some. There will always be things that sell above because there's a lot of effort put into real estate in pretty much everywhere. But at least the market we cover, there's some great design components and maximizing space and outdoor destinations. So many things.
Yeah.
That somebody will just be excited about. It's a great spaces to live in. Yeah. And in other cases, people might take the articles they continue to hear and go, oh my gosh, I need to sell because the market's going to tank. And
right.
All of those dynamics definitely come into play.
Well, this is a great example of that. 6091 Meridian Street. This is in Highland Park. 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, 1,812 square feet. 5,000 square foot lot. It sold for $1,400,000, and this is brought. Let's see, 18 days on the market. Brought to us by Wendy Colton and David Robles, and on the buy side, Jason Burns and Laura Burns represented the buyer. So that's a lot of bedrooms.
Yeah, and 1,800 square feet's a nice size, but when you carve that up into 5 bedrooms. The spaces will probably proportionately be small, but it looks spacious in the photos.
I was going to say, right, left, they definitely favored the right with the living space going all the way to the back, so that helps. And then you've got bedrooms on the left. So, yeah.
And you have nice outdoor destinations, which, all makes it feel bigger.
Definitely. So congrats to those guys. All right, next. All right, the next one on a seller win is 2532 Lyric Avenue. Let's go over there. This started at $1,495,000, landed at $1,750,000 for a $255,000 increase over list. Again, 117% of list price. Took 14 days on the market. And let's get the slideshow going. 2532 Lyric Avenue, 2 bedroom, 3 bath, 1,091 square feet. This is in Los Feliz. Sold for $1,750,000. It's on a 5,500 square foot lot, and took 14 days on the market. And this was brought to us by Alyssa Valentine, Kurt Wisner, and on the buy side, John Scarf. So congrats to all parties. But yeah, not a lot of square footage, obviously. Some nice charm, for sure. But it's Los Feliz, right?
I think it's the bonus spaces that push this over. I mean, it's got a... looks like what might be a garage that is finished and staged and has finished flooring in it that looks large and nice. Mm-hmm. And then it's got a very large covered patio. Looks like even windowed in patio that's probably not part of the square footage. Yeah. So you might be picking up an additional
600?
Yeah. 500-600 square feet very easily.
Yeah. It says here garage. Yeah. Garage has been reimagined by Matters of Space as a media room with blonde hardwood flooring, modern pendant lights, projector, screen, plus a splendid half bath. Adjoining screened-in porch is perfectly designed for bug-free lounging with views of the mature garden beyond. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's all the bonus space that's definitely pushed this one up.
Right.
It's interesting because often that bonus space is added to the square footage, and there's a disclosure that, the actual square footage is smaller. But, for those of you listening, technically, whatever the legal square footage is what the place has to appraise for. Yeah.
Well, here, as we keep talking about it, yeah, it's just kind of laying itself out. Garage was converted by prior owners, renovated to media room by current owners without permit.
Sure. Yeah, I knew.
Main house, 1,091, media room, 302, screened patio, 175 square feet, and then laundry storage, 234 square feet.
Wow. So that's like 700 plus square feet. Now, if
Yeah.
you told me 1,800 square feet sold for that, so that's what it's going to feel like for somebody who lives there, although that's not a legal 1,800 square feet. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, now it does. Yep.
Sure.
Okay. Well, great. All right, so we're going to go to 2 buyer wins. Let's see here. First one is 3869 Carnarvon Way. This is in Los Feliz. It started at a $3,295,000 list price, landed at $3,100,000 for $195,000 reduction, 94% of list price. Took a while, 49 days on the market, but wow, a lot of nice character on this. Let me get this out here. Hold on, there it is. Come on. There it goes. Okay, so 3869 Carnarvon Way. This is Los Feliz. 5 bedrooms, 4 bath, 3,500 square feet. $3,100,000 sold price on a 6,700 square foot lot. 49 days on the market. And this is brought to us by Laura Stupsker. And on the buy side, Whitney Goodman. So congrats to them. I just love the outside. And,
Yeah, and the views are great, and yeah, it's a nice house, as it should be for $3 million.
Yeah, right. All right, and then the final one, I think you'll appreciate a lot, Darren, is in Highland Park. This is 4967 Sycamore Terrace. Started at $1,695,000. List price sold for $1,575,000 for a $120,000 reduction. 93% of list price. 11 days on the market it took. And bear with here. Okay, here we go. Okay, 4967 Sycamore Terrace, Highland Park. 6 bedroom, 4 bath, 3,823 square feet of living space. Sold for $1,575,000. 15,000 square foot lot, almost 15.5. 11 days on the market. And this was brought to us by Letty Vermelin Hernandez. And on the buy side, Bradley Gilbo.
We've worked with
I know
Bradley
you love
before.
this stuff, man. Look at all that great old classic.
Yeah, so looks like it's units.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 units.
It is 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's listed as, is it historic? Yeah. Mary
It is.
P. Fieldhouse, craftsman style architect.
Yeah.
1901, declared 1988. Historical cultural monument. You know, these things always take a special buyer. I'll
Right.
say that. It's possible that the units don't have the same restrictions, but you have restrictions on what you can do with the house. It looks like there's some exterior maintenance needed, and just the whole space is scrutinized. The benefit of this is that typically you get a tax break
Mills Act.
to maintain the house in the historical type, but you don't have a choice. You have to maintain it. If your windows leak and you want to replace them, they can't force you to replace them. They can leak. They can't they can't require you to preserve it.
Right.
But if you choose to preserve it, you have to do it in an acceptable manner to those on the preservation committee.
Right.
Which typically
And it
means
does say that, right?
appropriate
Located
era.
in HPOZ.
Yeah.
All exterior modifications are subject to approval of HPOZ board.
Well, an interior on a cultural monument most likely is also a portion of it. So
They don't say that here. Yeah.
I know. Strictly HPOZ, yes. If that's all it is, it's exterior that needs approval. But if you're historical cultural monument and you want that Mills Act status, it's almost always interior and exterior.
Ugh, boy.
Yeah.
So, once again, we were talking about it earlier. Please inquire with listing agent on the First Republic lending program. So, like I said, I've seen that a lot more now. Okay, well, that is a great one with the dogs and the cats lying around. I like that in the pictures. Okay. All right, well, we are done with seller wins and buyer wins. Darren, do you want to direct me towards some actives that you liked?
Sure. There isn't much, man.
Right?
One,
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like 14 of them.
Yeah.
I'll pick a few. I'm not incredibly excited about
Okay.
them. I always like Mitchell Torrena. Happy to go
Yep.
there. It is a $3 million listing. 2207 Mitchell Torrena.
Okay. All right. We're getting there. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, always a view most of the time if you're on the right side of.
Yeah, nice windows, nice patio. There are some
Okay.
elements that are too modern for me, but
I'm
Go
seeing
ahead.
the front. Yeah. 2207 Mitchell Torrena Street. This is Silver Lake, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,969 square feet living space. On the market at $2,895,000, 5,000 square foot lot, and 6 days on the market. This is brought to us by Adam Lindholm out of the 714. So yeah, maybe that's why we don't know.
yeah, I mean, I would love to have seen this place move more towards the mid-century, which has some of the lines to incorporate that. But they took some elements and moved them pretty heavily towards modern. I mean, I like the big modern windows,
Yeah.
but like that's worth it.
Yeah.
That's worth going out of outside the architectural norm.
Yeah.
But some of the finishes don't work for me, and I think it's kind of it's a clash of style.
Yeah. It says here, listing agent with Century 21 Masters has a business relationship with the LLC that owns the property. Both owners of the LLC that owns the property are California real estate licensees. So yeah, as you're just saying, right, maybe some of that Orange County taste kind of got
Yeah.
into this one as they built it. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody.
I do feel, I mean, catch me if I'm wrong, but God, man, $2,895,000, does that seem a little elevated for that square footage? I know we got a great view, but
Yeah, for 2,000 square feet, that's up there. You're correct. I mean, there are some great homes on that street, and there are some larger homes on that street as well. So this is a little small. They're counting on the fact that it's new, but I think they're going to fall short because of the finishes.
the taste,
in my
right?
opinion. Yeah.
Okay. Good one.
Cool.
Let's see. What else?
Let's look at Mendocino Court, 4531.
4531 Mendocino Court. Oh, here, let's go there.
I like the layout. I tend to like this kind of layout. It's a little U-shaped. It's got a room over the garage. Just seems welcoming to me.
Okay.
Curb appeal.
Hold on. All right, here we go. 4531 Mendocino Court. This is Glassell Park, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,296 square feet of living space. Active at $1,025,000, 6,800 square foot lot. And let's see here, 7 days on the market so far. And this is brought to us by Dennis Carrillo and Sunny Narang.
Yeah. I can tell when it's not a local agent, man.
Yeah,
Sadly, it's
818.
so sad.
How do we do this? Yeah.
There's just a lack of effort. Yeah, there's often a lack of cohesion. Not always, but there often is. So in looking through this, I'm like, yeah, it's not going to be one of our local mainstays here. Like a paint job would help. They've got digital staging going on, which is, it can work sometimes. But
Right.
I like the curb appeal, just the general layout of the house.
Yeah.
But I think this is where in this market, like maybe a $20,000 investment and making things a little more cohesive and cleaned up, single color,
Yeah.
few upgrades where they can be impactful and make spaces feel better would have been good. I think it'll sell. It's a good price.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's a really good price.
Yeah.
For sure.
So it'll work out. But so great for a buyer that they didn't do this work, because you can come in and do the work.
Yeah.
Or maybe even some sweat equity and, cut that price in half. So,
Yeah. Yep.
So what's one worth looking at quickly?
I do not have the list in front of me. Let's see.
I'll give you two more here. Let's look at Loosemore. 3627 Loosemore.
3627 Loosemore.
All because I like that nice sunset view they put up there. Oh, look at that house.
Is that the best it's got? That's about it.
It's very modern. At least it's consistent.
Okay. 3627 Loosemore. This is Mount Washington. 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,664 square feet of living space. On the market at $1,525,000. It's a 4,800 square foot lot. And let's see, it's 3 days on the market. And this is brought to us by Alec Petrosian.
Okay.
All right. Out of the 818.
Metal siding. Stucco. Yeah, my initial thought was, I mean, it's a lot of steps to get up to the front door.
Yeah.
This is not, these are health-seeking people are already in health, good health. But when you're inside, initially it was a bad reaction, but I'm like, all right, I actually like some of the finishes better than
I'm looking at the bathroom.
what on Mitchell Torrena. Yeah.
Yeah. Really nice. Yeah.
So it feels good inside. It works. Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
How do you feel about the price? Could hold?
Well, I know that that long stairway to get up is going to reach, and in this market, you can't reduce your buyer pool too much.
Right.
That's one of the issues there. It seems appropriately priced to me. So if the right buyer, healthy buyer, is out there, who are okay with the steps, then I think they'll get it, and it seems like it's worth it.
Yeah. Okay. So your final one, what do you think?
Let's do AB 54, and let's not hope we have bad finishes. 707 North Avenue 54.
North Avenue 54. There it is. Highland Park. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so 707 North Avenue 54, Highland Park, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,388 square feet of living space, on the market at $1,250,000. It's a 4,800 square foot lot, and it's 6 days on the market so far. And let's see here, Luis Padilla Marquez and Jasmine Padilla Marquez are representing this listing.
There are times for me when like the black and white works.
Yeah.
And there are times where I'm like, I'd like these things to blend a little more. So they've got that black and white, high contrast.
Yeah.
Against with some of the natural wood tones, which I think collectively that's been popular for a while.
Hold on here. I'm gonna go ahead. Keep talking. I'm just gonna refresh.
Sure. I think high contrast works particularly in open spaces. Mm-hmm. I struggle with it a little more. Maybe in smaller spaces, or if the features you really don't want to highlight them that much, sometimes then it can just look better blending. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure on this one. This could feel differently in person, but in the photos, I wouldn't want to see so much of the high contrast. The front patio is fantastic.
Is it making the space smaller? Is that more or less?
It is. It also might be emphasizing. Again, a non-cohesive design.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You've got the modern front garage door, which I personally don't like. That's similar to the Mitchell Terrena one. I'd like to see a more traditional. You could have glass on it, but the positioning of it looks too modern in comparison to the house.
Yeah.
Then they're highlighting all the beams by giving you that high contrast on the beams, and then you have windows with grids behind it. It's like, yeah, when you just start putting it all together, I'm like, yeah, all right.
Yeah. Although, well, it's just something that we do. Looks like they did frost the glass a little for privacy. That was nice.
It's such an effective thing.
Yeah.
It's really great. You know, when you live in a city and you have a lot of close neighbors, and if you like privacy. I know I do.
Oh, you're also across from the school, eh?
Oh, yeah. And I feel like I've driven by that house now that you say that.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
good potential. Some finishes that don't work. You know, maybe at the higher range of the price, but it is fully finished. If the finishes work for someone, they should be okay.
Well, cool. So we are done. Last show. You know, this year, Darren, I don't have the exact count, but I think we're somewhere at like 65 of these this year.
Shows. Oh, man.
I know. Last year we did like 39.
Wow. Something tells me if I looked back at those 65, I might be okay to leave 2 or 3 of them up, Joe. And
I think you would
delete
wince.
the other 60, man.
I could wince also, for sure. I understand, yeah. But overall, I think by percentages, baseball percentages, pretty good. Pretty good. So
yeah, good opportunities to connect and keep us at the top of our game, which is it's good for everyone. We benefit, our clients benefit.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
All right. Well, guys, look, we wish you the best holiday ever with family and friends and partners. And have a great new year. We will skip next week, of course. And we'll see you in the new year. That's it.
Yeah. Look forward
and
to
don't pay attention to the screen, but go ahead and follow us on social media because it says back next week. Take care.
All right.
See you later,
Bye.
guys.
Take
Bye.
care.
All right.